Top 5 Scariest GDQ Moments. GDQ, August 8th, 2018. Darbian was feeling good about his upcoming performance at GDQ. When he sat at the couch, he turned on the NES and started up an any percent speedrun of Super Mario Bros. 1985 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Suddenly, someone in the crowd shouted, "You bad!" Then Darbian immediately died to the first Goomba and won. Darbian started crying and stormed out of the building. Darbian knew that he had to disappear from the public because he was now considered a social reject because he embarrassed himself. Darbian went back to his house, packed a backpack full of supplies, and headed out to live on the streets. As Darbian walked for miles, he started to get tired. That was when a homeless man walked up to him and said, "Do you need some energy?" "Yeah, I do," Darbian said. "Well, then I got something for you," said the homeless man. Darbian was eager to see what it was. The man pulled out something that looked like sugar. "So this is some nasal spray." The homeless bum demonstrated how to use it. The homeless guy put a straw in his nose and snorted the sugar. "Oh yeah, bitch, that hits the spot," yelled the homeless man. Darbian was eager to try the new medicine he had just seen. He took the straw from the homeless man and snorted some of the quote-unquote sugar. Everything bad in Darbian's life went away. Darbian felt like he was in heaven. He ran around the streets and had fun with the homeless man all night. When Darbian woke up the next day, he was horrified. He was laying next to the homeless man in a cardboard box and had tinfoil wrapped around him as a blanket. Darbian threw up when he smelled the homeless man's stench. He stole the quote-unquote sugar from the homeless man. Darbian started sprinting to the police station and he reported the homeless man to the cops. The cops said, "Darbian, you're under arrest." "Why?" asked Darbian. "Because you cried like a baby at GDQ. Also, you snorted like cocaine or something." Darbian started crying and was sent to prison for 2 years. That is the real reason why Darbian took a long break between 2018 and 2020. Number 4. In GDQ 2015, there was a man that was speedrunning a brand new game called Fart Gas. The man introduced himself as Carl Jobst. He booted up the Nintendo 64 game and immediately he could tell something was off. The game was glitching on and off. He said he knew how to fix it, but what he was about to do next was very unexpected. He took the cartridge out and started blowing air on the bottom part of the video game cartridge like many people did. He put the game back in and when he booted up everything was normal. He pressed start and it made a farting sound effect. At least everyone thought it was a sound effect. Apparently Carl Jobst actually shit his diaper and it spread against his hairy ass cheeks. He continued to play the game but he smelled like a rotting corpse. He said the smell was coming from the game because the game was called Fart Gas. As he was running through the shitty game, people started leaving. Eventually it was just Carl Jobst and one other person named Mike. Mike was plugging his nose and didn't breathe so he didn't smell the stench, which led him to pass out. When he passed out, he was smelling the toxic air which led him to get infected with virus and bacteria. The bacteria was so toxic and stank that it melted the skin off of Mike's face. Mike woke up and started screaming. Carl Jobst's run died because he got distracted by the screaming and he sued Mike like he sued Billy Mitchell. When Carl Jobst entered the courtroom a few days later, the judge and jury passed out immediately. Carl was confused, but then he remembered that he never changed his diaper after that day at GDQ. Carl Jobst was then arrested because he was considered a serial killer. All of his victims' cause of death were death by toxic fart gas. Carl Jobst never thought his favorite video game would come back to haunt him, but that was exactly what happened. Number 3. One time a woman named Cheyenne walked into a GDQ. She found the room where Cosmic D12 was running SMB1 Warpless. When Cheyenne walked into the room, she was so scared because she has achondroplasia, which is the fear of midgets. She knew that Cosmic was 5'2", at least that's what it said online. In person, Cosmic looked about 4'6" at most. Cheyenne almost went into cardiac arrest because her heart rate was 300 beats per minute, just like Cosmic's heart rate in 8'4". The only seat left was right behind Cosmic. She noticed that Cosmic's legs were so short that his feet didn't touch the ground when he was sitting. Cheyenne thought that Cosmic was a leprechaun because he was a midget. Cosmic then started the run. The next 18 minutes and 59 seconds felt like 18 decades and 59 years. Cheyenne's blood pressure was so high that her face turned red. Cosmic turned around and he thought that he made her blush, so he tried to kiss her. She threw up in his face and sprinted out of the room. Number 2, it was GDQ 2017. I walked into the stands and sat down. Cheese was speedrunning Super Bloody Mario 64, like he always does. He said, "My name is Cheese Speedruns," and he started a 120 star run, but in Bomb Bomb Battlefield, everyone noticed something strange. Mario's eyes turned pitch black. Cheese, as long as everyone else, was confused and frightened. Mario started laughing like a demonic satanic satanist. Cheese started crying because he shit his pants. The entire room stank like your mom. Mario's face started growing bigger and bigger until it filled up the entire screen. Mario said, "I'm about to munch your face off in 10, 9, 8, 7. Everyone in the room ran towards the exit, but it was barricaded by Wario. Wario was 2,000 kilograms because he was such a fat ass and nobody could move him. Mario started crawling out of the screen and smirked like a madman. He started twerking on everyone and tried to munch their faces off. Luckily, when Mario ate Cheese Speedruns, he tasted Cheese Speedruns' pants that he shit in, so he threw up and left the room. It was so scary that Cheese now has PTSD. Number 1. GDQ 2016, Mitch Flower Power. I was at the back waiting for the SMB3 100% run to start. Little did I know it would be the worst decision I've ever made. As I sat back in my chair, I could smell something rotten, but I didn't think much of it. Mitch entered the room and the smell became worse and worse. He sat next to me and I took a whiff of the air and I fell back on my chair and I almost passed out. Mitch asked if I was okay, and I didn't want to sound rude, so I said there was a spider on me, and he said okay. As the run started, I could hear the calming overworld music, which put me at ease. As the run went on, I just couldn't ignore the stench coming from Mitch's mouth while he was commentating. To put it as nicely as possible, his breath smelled like ass. The run was over and I got my stuff to get ready to leave. As I left, Mitch walked out and said thanks for watching the run. I said no problem, but I got to get going because it is getting late and I need to be home. But he said we can take a photo together, and I said fine. Just as he took the picture, he coughed and I smelt it. My life flashed before my eyes. It smelled like ass, but worse, and I passed out. I woke up 6 years later and it is now 2022. I don't know my place in the world, but I hope it gets better. I don't know if Mitch Flower Power will ever see this, but please, dude, for the safety of the people around you, brush your teeth every once in a while. Remember to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed these stories. I'm trying to hit 100 subs.